We may not win today, gentlemen, but we'll have a good time.
Earl Muscle Slam, the Bard. Looks like you're up first. Actually, the familiar rolled better than me, but I'm just going to have it use the help action on me for this turn. Familiar? Magical secrets. Ah, right on. Well, what do you want to do? I run up and grapple it. Ah, the giant's a huge creature. Sorry, you can't grapple a creature. It's more than one size larger than you. No, it's cool. I'm a Goliath, so I have the powerful build trait, so I count as a size larger, actually, than I am. Okay, cool. Well, here we go. It's a athletics check, and, ooh, man, sorry, 17. So that's a total of... one second. Kind of jumped the gun on that one. Actually, as I'm approaching, I'm going to cast Hex on it. I'm going to choose for it to have disadvantage on strength ability checks. Hex? Magical secrets. Right. Well, that's 11 then, so a total of 25. Well, it would be, but I'm going to use my reaction to use Cutting Words and subtract a bardic die from its roll. And I tell it looks scrawny compared to the storm giant that I choked to death last week, and that's 3 subtracted. Ah, good, so that's 22. Go ahead and roll. Ah, 3, bummer. But familiar, with advantage.
5, so that's...
Oh, bummer still. Sorry, the dice just aren't... 20. 20! I took expertise in athletics. Oh, wow, you just don't care about rolls at all, do you? No, not really. I'm a bard. I can mess with rolls all day. Yeah, it's still a little shy though. It would have been cool, but one last thing. I'm actually not quite done yet. I'm going to use Peerless Skill to add a bardic inspiration die to my roll. And yeah, it's a 6. So yeah, you grapple the storm giant. Awesome. Earl Muscle Slam, back to you, buddy. I'm going to use my grappler feat this turn to roll to pin it so I can restrain it. Oh, cool. Yeah, so I got 38 this time with everything. And it got a 23. Cool. So I put it in an armbar and I tell it I'm the last thing it's ever going to see. Yeah, cool. No, totally cool. That's really cool and good. And just so cool. Well, that's just a goof to show you what kind of hijinks you can get up to when you try to grapple as a bard. I think just about everything you can add to or affect with a roll you can do with the bard in this situation, which is pretty sweet. I think the only time when you can't use everything to affect a roll is when the creature is gargantuan, because then you might need to use magical secrets enlarge on yourself to go up a size to be able to grapple it, and then that being a concentration spell, you couldn't then hex it, so it wouldn't have disadvantage, but you'd have all the other good stuff. So still crazy. I think it's fun. Oh, I mean, if you got a wizard in your party, then you're golden, and you don't have to worry about that. College of Lore. It's the way to go. It's unreal. Let's try to do this in order to see kind of what abilities you'd get when. Go Goliath, because powerful build, you're going to count as a size larger. That really is what kind of gives this its threat, because then instead of a medium creature, you're large and you can grapple everything except for gargantuan creatures, unless you find a way to affect your size or its size. First thing's Cutting Words. It's awesome because it's a reaction, so it's the only thing we're going to need to use our reaction. We roll a bardic die to subtract from its roll. That keeps scaling up as the bardic inspiration die scales up. Later on with the College of Lore, you get Peerless Skill. That kicks in a little later. It's level 14, so if you really see it through, it's kind of nice. But then whenever you make an ability check, you get to use a bardic inspiration, a die, roll it, add it to your ability check, which is awesome. It doesn't say it has to use your reaction or anything, so you just kind of get to do it when you make an ability check, so it's fine. We can use all of this on one turn. It's just sweet. And by the time you get up to that level, I think you're rolling d10s, You level up a little further, you get, I think, all the way up to a D12, so you can really affect things. Along the way to additional magical secrets. So at 6th level, you can start picking up. You learn 2 spells of your choice from any class. I would go with Hex and Familiar, because the Familiar can, it acts independently, but as long as it goes before you, or it goes, at the end of your turn, then you can pick it up the next round. It can't attack, but the help action, it can use actions. The help action gives another creature advantage on its roll, so you pick up that, you get advantage for your roll. Hex is a bonus action, so you can do it again, still all on the same turn. Familiar you can have up beforehand. It's not a concentration spell itself. So then you can Hex to give your opponent disadvantage. Your Familiar can help you out. It's like, I don't know, studying the enemy, or kind of looking for an in for you to get it really quick, or beat its reflex or something, whatever flavor you want to kind of go with. You're giving yourself advantage, you're giving them disadvantage. You get to roll a bardic die and subtract from their roll. You get to roll a bardic die and add to your roll. And also at level 3, when you get the cutting words, you get expertise. You can choose 2 skill proficiencies. So 1, you're still free to choose whatever you want. Take athletics. It's going to be insane. At higher level, once you, the only thing you need to do is, I would say, pick up the grappler feat so you can pin something and just restrain it. That way you take something completely out of commission. With the grappler feat, you have all the pieces to the puzzle. It's absolutely insane. Advantage with expertise alone is going to be crazy, and then you can just keep messing with rolls to make sure that you succeed with your grapples and your pins. And then when you restrain it, it can't do anything, so your rest of your crew is golden to do whatever they want while you and it are just sitting there. If you want to wrestle, if you want to grapple something, I think this is going to be the way to do it, because again and again, if you don't quite make it, you've got so many backups to help you get there. I think this is the type of build. It's so different, and it has such a specific purpose in combat. I think it's worth giving a little heads-up discussion with your DM, so you don't just crack this open, during a game. Let them know what you're kind of shooting for, because then, you can. And then if you're the DM, there's the flip side of the coin, right? So if you've got your big bad encounters ready, and it's one big creature, central creature that you're planned around, it can be completely neutralized with this character. So, which can be kind of fun with it, but just be prepared if you're a player, if you're the DM. Throw some of those encounters that way for this character, or some additional things that are kind of going on during an encounter that are distracting, that you might have to choose to deal with. Rituals or different things that are in a room, some other mechanics, that kind of stuff. If somebody builds a character around it, like, give them some time to shine doing it, but at the same time, be ready, if you're the player too, that like, it's maybe not always going to be one big bad then for a boss or something. Maybe there's going to be a lot of hordes or waves of things, and then you just can't, it's just going to be a different combat than kind of what you're built around for grappling. So I would say if you're a player, just be ready. Not every battle is going to be that you completely neutralize it. And if you're a DM, if you're thinking in the villain's shoes or something, think of some fun, cool ways to get around it, to challenge, the party and this player. But don't completely take away big bad encounters, because that's what this build is completely for. So, just like a session 0, though, I think it's really worth kind of communicating up front, just talking about it. This is what I really want to go for. This is the kind of feel I want with my character. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and this is what I'm trying to pull off. So, and can go over the rules and stuff with them, because I think everything everything flies, everything fits here. Think of some fun flavor for it too. If you're gonna play this, I think this is one of those builds. The same way that narrating like what's happening with your attacks and the damage and that kind of thing. Don't just say I use cutting words on it. Maybe even think beforehand of some things that you would say. Think about how you're going to mock it or try to intimidate it while you're grappling with it to kick off that feature. Making fun of it. It's making fun of the creature you're trying to grapple's strength. Or just being so nonchalant, arrogant about it, trying to intimidate it, something like that. Think about what you're going to actually say. Don't just say I use cutting words. I think that's going to make it a whole lot more fun at the table. There you go, the Grapple Bard, the most ridiculous grappler you'll ever face or play. I hope you enjoyed it. See you guys next time.